What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. I don't know how serious I'm going to get about doing all this again, given the algorithm, but we'll see. I thought I'd just do a quick little low res version of Mayonnaise by the Smashing Pumpkins for anybody interested. It's just kind of fun, and I've been really into this tuning. So anyway, take it or leave it. No tabs. I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. I'll put the main chord shape and the tuning in the description, and I think we'll just call it good. So what I like about the song is you just move one shape, essentially. It's very cool. And then I'll walk you through the pieces, the strumming, which I think is kind of the beautiful opportunity of this. It's really... to be able to not have so much cognitive load on the left hand and to be able to focus more on presenting the rhythm and the way that, like, if you adjust your guitar tone, you can really get this to kind of grind and bloom to where you're getting like a really fuzzed out, like a real fuzzed out low end. And then you can separate the high strings. So you actually have like an opportunity as you strum to go through and not just keep your hand fluid, but actually articulate to where you're not strumming and just banging through all the strings all the time. So that's kind of like, think of it as maybe a next step. So let's go through all this real quick. So the tuning is, it's really kind of strange. It's like kind of like an E flat minor major 7 or something. It's weird. So this one here, this string, this is a E flat or D sharp. This string, so that goes down. This string goes from an A, it goes up to A sharp. So we'll do it in tuner speak. So D sharp, that goes up to A sharp. That D string goes down to, oh sorry, hang on. Calendar reminder. This string goes from D down to A sharp, so these are a unison. These are the same note. That goes down to F sharp, so it goes down a half step from G. That B goes down a half step to A sharp, so you have 3 A sharps. And then this goes down from E down a whole step to D. So it's really kind of strange. It's super ugly until you start fretting the G string. So that's our tuning. I would take a few passes and get it stable enough. Even on a Squire, you can stabilize this. So the strings are all at kind of like weird tensions. But once you stabilize it, it'll sound pretty cool. But if you don't, because you have a lot of the same note, and you have like these are tuned in the relationship of a fifth, like 5, 1, 1. There's another one. There's another one. That's like your major third. If we think of the chord, which is like a B flat major kind of. The voicing order of this is 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. So it's really thick, but it's very nice once you start actually moving around this hand shape. So now the core hand shape, think like E major. If you guys know E major, it's not going to sound good in this tuning. Actually, it kind of does. But it's basically this shape that you know. You just move these 2 fingers to the bottom 2 strings. So if we move all of that, and I speak out what I'm fretting, it's 7, 7, 0, 6, 0, 0. So think of that as like a spoken tab kind of communication format. That's your first chord. Then you just move that to the 3rd position. Index is the position marker, so it's at the 3rd fret. So you're at 6. doing is I'm moving up one fret with that index finger as like a guide finger, and these fingers drop off. So that's your verse. It's actually really simple. The biggest challenge, I think, is just getting the tuning going. Now that little bit, by the way, this, because we're in the key of B flat major, 1, 2, 3, 4, major scale just on this string. And you're just moving up to the third and the fourth tones and doing a little hammer on. So that's now at what is that? 8. 8 hammered to 9. Everything else on the bottom end of the guitar, or if you strum straight through, everything just rings open against that. Okay, so that's kind of your verse. And essentially, you're just kind of moving this around different places. Try, you know, so now you're at, these are at 9, so 8th position, 4th, essentially dropping off that. We could think of that as maybe like open 4th or something, I don't know. Bump 3 for a little bit, and then you resolve here again. And then you kind of second round, you just move up, you hold the 5th frets. So that's your basic structure of the whole song. And again, I'm not doing this tutorial as I'm sure there's a million guys that have already done this. This is not to be in your Smashing Pumpkins cover band. This is just to play in your bedroom and have fun. So some details are missing. Now, something to think about rhythmically. Where's the beat? We're kind of here-ish, right? Can you get your hand to be moving here, but kind of feeling that in the space, not necessarily declaring all that in the rhythm. Okay, so if you get that, then it's a matter of just figuring out what is a representative texture. So I like to separate it out, like low, high. This is the challenge, but this is what I think the song is so good at due to the tuning. Let's see if I can get it. This incredibly cheap Squire has very interesting pots in it. I actually really like it. If you notice, you know, if you're using an electric guitar at least, you can get kind of a grindy bottom end and like a shiny top end, which I just think is a nice thing to consider. If you're using acoustic, you have the beauty of that instrument, so you don't have to worry about this detail. But I think that on an electric, it does present itself with a nice contrast. You know, low, down, down. Wait a minute. Down. So rhythmically. Wait a minute. So try to feel something like that. Or up, up, down, up, up. The main thing is keep your hand in motion. It doesn't need to be exactly my rhythm. And what I'm trying to do is, if possible, tap your foot, but try to feel it, like try to declare it in your body that the beat is here. And then your hand is basically this kind of thing. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then think about how long you're on each chord. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I like to add this, so maybe final rhythmic layer is like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of like the 1 is the bottom and the 2 is the top. And the top is naturally where the drummer would hit his snare, right? 2 and 4 are the backbeats. Those are naturally heavier. We're programmed to hear those a little bit more emphatically. So if you were to add some kind of a rhythm, this, 2, 3, 4. Try to think of your 2s and your 4s as a little bit heavier. Your 1s and your 3s are kind of a little bit lighter, and they tend to be on the lower ends. Low, high, low. So I know I've probably done everyone a disservice by picking a really complicated strumming pattern. So in hindsight, sort it out. I'm sorry. So what we can take away, low, high, low, high. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's a deliberate separation of string sets that I'm trying to target while keeping my wrist fluid. So that's kind of the takeaway here that we're going for. So I hope you enjoy it. I know that this is a little bit short, but YouTube is kind of a fatiguing mess, and I just felt like I wanted to contribute something. Feel free to reach out. I'll try to watch the channel. I'll put my, I don't know if they let me do this anymore. I'll see if I can put my contact info in the video description for you guys. But yeah, anyways, so enjoy, and maybe I'll see you soon. Rock and roll, y'alls.